Mashishi Chairman of the loveLife Board of Trustees. On the whole, absolutely positive view. Firstly, we stabilized the organization financially, which was important. Secondly, we think that we did well in strengthening our relationships with our key stakeholders and partners. In particular, the two departments in government, the Department of Sport and Department of Health. And thirdly, overall, we reached over 3 million young people. So that through our programs. So overall, we think that was a good achievement. If you look at our core offering in terms of healthy lifestyles program and active lifestyle program, through our partnerships with the Department of Sport and Department of Health, I think those were the key success stories and key highlights. We stayed true to our knitting. We, as I said, overall reached over 3 million young people through those programs. So I would say those were the highlights. I think it is fulfilling its vision of promoting health among young people, and obviously through that separated by mission statement that says, we need to ensure that we have powering the future. So if you take those things and you translate them into actual activity on the ground, how we touch young people through our groundbreakers in Pinches, through our online programs, I think all of that has been quite successful. And I think we're adapting well, even in using new platforms in terms of technology, so that we keep relevant with the audience. I mean, if you're targeting between 10 and 24-year-old as your segment, you need to be in the platforms where they most prefer to be. So I think we're doing quite well in that regard. I think the big challenge has been consistency of cash flow in the organization, which in turn creates stability in remuneration of staff and meeting your costs. So we found that in the previous years, while the funds were committed, they were not paid in regular phases. And as a result, we ran into cash flow challenges, and it led to sometimes staff not being paid, demoralization and those things. And I think in the 2018 period, we were able to stabilize that quite well, creating more morale in the organization and a more positive attitude from everybody. Firstly, it was a good thing to have to stabilize our relationship with our key partners, because at the moment our biggest funding comes from government. Probably almost 90% of funding comes from government. So a good relationship with both the Departments of Health and Department of Sport is key in maintaining the health of our finances. But if you look into the medium to long term, we need to do things, new things. We need to expand our pool of resource. Where we are currently, we've achieved stability in terms of our funds, but we need to move towards sustainability into the future. And to do that, we need to create a more diversified pool of funds. We've been able to attract a number of corporates. We have a good relationship with the VW South Africa. We just funded our center, as you know, one of our centers. We have a good relationship with Kolomani Mine, which has also been very supportive in funding. So we need to expand that. Telkom has been a key partner as well in coming to the party with some of the partnerships we're doing with them with our centers. So I think that thrust we need to continue. Ideally, in the few years, in the not so distant future, we need to move that ratio from 90-10 government to maybe 60-40. Then I feel that we're more sustainable. Well, we've got to continue to stay true to our knitting. The issues of HIV, as you know, that the recent data that has come out, there's been a resurgence of infections again amongst the young people, groups that we are constituency looking at. We need to intensify our campaign in that regard. We need to also be able to look at broader challenges that are affecting young people. I mean, for instance, the issue of gender violence in our country is a significant thing. And as you know, we'll be working on launching the Boy Child campaign to address these issues at infancy, to say what are the kind of messaging and prejudices that young boys receive at a very young age that turn them down the line to become abusers, and how can we intervene at those early stages. So I think those sorts of campaigns should begin to take center stage so that our holistic commitment to well-being, to wellness, to health finds expression through all these other interventions. When you talk about youth health promotion, we're looking at youth health inclusively. We're looking at health in terms of your day-to-day health, but also look at your health in terms of your psychological makeup and health in terms of a career prospects and growth. So you'll see in some of the centers that we're looking at career issues programs there. So that's important. We are also, for instance, looking at programs like the Yes campaign that has been introduced by government to assist companies to fund unemployed young people. We want to see how we can collaborate with the Yes campaign to bring young people to work in loveLife, funded through the Yes campaign. We also think that we can be a repository of talent for organizations that are looking for it. For instance, if you look at our groundbreakers and our impinges, when they've done their tenure, they've matured, they've developed, they've grown, and we need to find a way of creating opportunity to manage that transition into the corporate or into career opportunities by making it known out there that we have this repository of talent, so that people, when they finish their program, they don't idle and say, well, I've been at loveLife for 2 years, I don't have anything to do. So I think we can play a role in being that bridge between giving people great exposure, great responsibility, and then helping them to transition to bigger opportunities elsewhere. Even though loveLife is an NGO, it's still a body that requires to be governed properly in terms of corporate governance and so on. So you treat it as you would do any corporate entity. So when you appoint directors, you look at the normal attributes that one will find in boards of companies. You look at people who have a governance track record, who can bring that understanding of corporate governance, because we manage other people's money, government money, donor money. We need to be sure that our systems are absolutely world class. We look at other skills like auditing, finance, legal, all those attributes that you will find in a normal board. We look for them when we're looking at new recruits to the board. But over and above that, we look for passion, for passion for developmental work. Because what we are about, we're a developmental organization. So that passion that people have, you can't buy it. And so those are the things we look at, essentially. Nkosinathi added huge depth to our board. He has a passion about the developmental space. He's been involved in it through other organizations, through the Biko Foundation and other foundations. So he has a very wide network of developmental activists and funders and role players. He understands the space, it's in his DNA. So he added a huge dimension to the board in that regard. He's a very disciplined individual. When he commits to something, he really does. Remember, as a board, we're a volunteer organization. So people really, there's nothing else can compel them with. You don't pay them, when they attend meetings, they attend because they want to do it. I don't remember Nkosinathi not being there for one thing or another. So he's always been available when we required him to be there. And he just brought a lot of maturity, and we stretched his stay to the limit. We really didn't want to let him go. But a great asset to the board, a great humanist in in its own right. I must express on behalf of the board our utmost gratitude to the CEO for her sterling leadership of this organization, stabilizing it, creating the energy, and creating an environment where people can feel fulfilled and inspired to work. Absolute gratitude to the staff as a whole. As I said earlier, we went through some challenging periods, especially 2 or 3 years ago. And a lot of the people who are still around went through those experiences, but they stayed true to the organization. We never found the organization being labeled in the press and everywhere. People understood the challenges, worked with us, and we are committed as a board to make sure that we don't find ourselves going back into those sorts of challenges again. So thank you very much to everybody for bearing with a very stormy period of the organization, but also on delivering on the ground. To be able to sit here and say we've reached 3 million young people, it's not an easy feat to do that. It means that you have committed staff and employees that wake up every morning and take the job they are responsible for seriously. To our partners, the Department of Health, the Department of Sport, we can only be a heartfelt appreciation for the support, involving us in the bigger project to get the country, the young people in this country going. Also our corporate partners, as I said, VW, Telkom, the mining operations. I think all of this, we need them to succeed as an organization. And with that support, I'm no doubt that we will achieve our objectives and the country and the youth of our country